back from Gamescom.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here for some more Need for Speed Heat. Now, I'm actually finally back at my desk, back at home. I'm back from Gamescom. I've got a lot to say about Gamescom. There's so much I still yet to talk about. Obviously, my computer over there was dog shit, so I didn't get a chance to make any commentaries. But I've got so much to talk about. I want to talk about the police. I want to talk about the map. I want to talk about my overall impressions. The only thing I've talked about so far is the handling, and there's so much more to this game than just the handling. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and talk about cops. Now, before we go any further, I do want to say, please go ahead and make sure you subscribe, because over the course of the next week, there's going to be more raw gameplay. I'm kind of just going to upload everything that I have left over from Gamescom, because I'm assuming that you guys are going to want to see it. So stay tuned. There's more raw gameplays, more opinions, and I'm also going to be doing some gameplays on my undercover let's play, which I'm still doing, my challenge series let's play. So if any of that interests you, stay tuned to the channel. There's a lot more from where this came from. There's actually so much to talk about. I don't really know where to start, but you know what? I'm going to start with daytime and nighttime, because the police in daytime and nighttime are completely different. So in daytime, obviously we all know that daytime is where the sanctioned events take place. It's a much more legal environment. The only way you're really going to get into a police chase in the daytime is if you head on hit the police. In the daytime, after you've done a pursuit, the heat levels will reset. So say you get into a heat level 5 pursuit in the daytime, that will then reset once you lose them. As where at night times, heat levels don't reset. So say you finish a pursuit and you're at heat level 3, and then you find another cop. At night time, that next cop will still be at heat level 3. The level of heat does not go down regardless if you lose the police. The only way you can get rid of your heat level in night time is to go back to the garage and end your session. We're going to talk more about that in a bit later. In the daytime, the police aren't going to be as aggressive. They're not going to be as fast. They're not going to be, you know, overall as menacing as they are in nighttime. Because to be honest, if you want to have police gameplay, the place you're going to want to go for that is the nighttime. That is where, you know, the hectic, chaotic kind of environment is. How I was explained to it, but like behind closed doors at one of the other demos, because we saw multiple builds of this demo at Gamescom, was the daytime is where, you know, your sanctioned events are. If you want to race without traffic, that is where your main bulk of gameplay is going to come, is from the daytime. However, if you want a more chaotic and hectic environment, go into nighttime. That's where the police are going to be much more aggressive. That's where the traffic's going to be much more dense, etc, etc. So daytime and nighttime cater to two different types of players. You know, the daytime's much more, you know, about the racing, as where the nighttime is much more about the hectic Need for Speed gameplay that we've all known and come to love. But like I said, I'm going to talk about daytime and nighttime in a separate video. Like I said, I've got so much to talk about with that specifically, as well as the map and loads of other stuff. Today's more about the cops. So now, since I've, you know, kind of just covered that very briefly, let's go ahead and talk about the nighttime police, because this is where everything gets so juicy. Nighttime police are batshit crazy. The best way I can explain this is imagine Rivals, but just a lot more refined. So nighttime sessions will start from the garage. Once you leave a nighttime session, you will be in the open world. Like I said earlier, the heat levels don't decrease in the nighttime sessions. So once you're out there, your heat level can only go up. This is something which I'm looking really forward to trying, especially in the low levels of the game. It might be one of those things where in the low levels of the game, you can't get to any higher than heat level 3, which is out getting absolutely murked. If you get busted during a nighttime session, the police will take a percentage of your bank. Now, they're still messing with this. Obviously, we're at Gamescom, things will get tweaked, but I believe in the Gamescom build, it was 20% of your bank they will take. If you're in the low levels of the game, and they take 20% of your bank, that is a lot of money. Even in the later sessions, you know, if you're, you know, at the end game and you have 2 million bank there, and they take 20%, that's 200,000 credits. That is a lot of money. Now, like I said, that is still being tweaked. We don't know what it is for sure right now, but as of Gamescom build, that is what it is. Going back onto the more kind of nighttime stuff, I kind of went on a bit of a tangent there. Yeah, the nighttime police are absolutely crazy. They'll start off with Crown Vics, then they'll go up to Chargers, then they'll go up to Corvettes, and then they'll have Rhinos. They'll have spike strips, which, by the way, unless you have a bonus on your car, do not inflate. Now, I've seen a lot of people getting quite confused about a few things relating to the police, the tires being one of them, the Rhinos and There's a whole bunch of the petrol stations blowing up. There's a lot of things that people are a bit confused about. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that up here. Spike strips will only reinflate your tires if you have a performance upgrade on them. They explained it as auxiliary parts. These auxiliary parts have certain benefits to your car. So for example, if you're getting kill switched, which is a weapon that the police have, you can press B to cancel and jam that kill switch. Another example of an auxiliary part that you can put on your car is when you go over a spike strip, you can then have your tires reinflate, and that's a passive auxiliary kind of performance upgrade you can put onto your car. They didn't say if you can have one passive and then one, you know, like one where the player has to engage the auxiliary part. They didn't really explain that. All they said is that you can put bonuses on your car on top of the performance upgrades. This is all going to be in the performance menus. It's not going to be separate. So, you know, as well as all your performance tuning, you're also going to have the option to go and put auxiliary parts on your car. These are going to have different effects. They're going to have effects where some do things in the open world, but they only explain the police ones to us. Hopefully I explained that well. If I didn't, please leave comments, because I think I'm making sense in my head, but I don't know if I'm actually making sense. So let me know if any of that actually did make sense. So for those that are wondering why the spike strips were reinflating cars in the game, or reinflating the tires in the Gamescom build, that is because they put an auxiliary part on those Gamescom builds, you know, for gameplay, probably to make it a little bit easier for people who are just playing the game and not really that big of a Need for Speed fan. But spike strips can permanently damage your tires. So if you feel like you're confident enough as a Need for Speed player to go without the pursuit aids, I guess you could say, and instead put like a double nitrous auxiliary on, then you're going to find it, you know, much more beneficial to put that part on than, say, the tire upgrade. This also means that you can go ahead and choose what kind of build you want. If you want to go ahead and have a pursuit build, you can do that. If you want to have a race build, you can do that. If you want to have an exploration build, like an off-road build, you can do that. It really gives the kind of choice into the player, and that's something which I think is really, really cool. Petrol stations do not blow up. I saw like someone leave a comment on one of my videos about this. I think people are just getting confused because basically, obviously, the exhaust backfire a lot more now. You actually scrape so with your car, like bottom end, it scrapes off the floor and it has like green sparks and stuff. Petrol stations don't blow up. They are used for repair markers. That's basically what it is. At the moment in game, you can repair up to 3 times while you go through a petrol station. Again, this is still being looked at, still being tweaked. It's already changed during development, so don't expect that to be the kind of the figure when launch comes. This isn't in game, this is just me speaking. I would love to see a hardcore mode added to Need for Speed where you only get one repair during the night, and maybe you get, you know, more rep by doing that. I think that would be really cool, but that's just me saying something that I'd like in the future. Maybe I might go ahead and send that over to them. And finally, I just want to say with the rhinos, it does come up with a little prompt saying rhino incoming, and it shows you on the map. I don't personally like that. I don't think it's a cool thing. I don't know. I think the whole point in rhinos is they come out of nowhere and surprise you. I think the way they should balance that going forward is make them not as heavy. They are very, very heavy right now. If you get hit by one, you're definitely coming to a stop. What I think they should do is kind of not make them as heavy, but completely get rid of any warnings that a rhino is incoming. Because then, you know, if it hits you, it's not as punishing. You're still able to kind of get away. But if you're on low, you know, damage levels, it's still going to really hurt you. I think that's just the best way of balancing it. I don't think most people like that feature in the game right now, where it comes up saying rhino incoming. I think it's a bit of a noob kind of aid, it's a bit of an assist to the player, which isn't really needed. Finally, on the kind of whole weapons topic of this video, I didn't really write any scripts for this video, I'm kind of just talking, but the police also have kill switches. As I said, if you put an auxiliary part on your car, you can block this. A kill switch will temporarily kind of just shut down your car for 3 seconds, basically. So it's not an awful long amount of time, but if the police have used like boxing tactics to box you in, and then they hit you with a kill switch, that could be really fatal. That could be game over. Now I'm going to talk about some of the tactics they use in game. So I want to say the police have fucking mad, crazy rubber banding in this game. I actually really like it. I like how the police have just crazy rubber banding in the game. They're always on your tail, and that's how the police should be, at least in the nighttime section. Keep in mind, all of what I've said has pretty much been exclusive to the nighttime section. None of this is really available in daytime, or you shouldn't really be, you know, experience this in daytime. should be experiencing this in nighttime. Yeah, so in terms of the way they're actually going to try to hunt you down, they're going to use boxing tactics, they're going to use rolling roadblocks, they're going to use normal roadblocks, they're going to use spike strips, they're going to use kill switches. These are all things which they're going to use to try to take you down. It's really, really cool. To then lose the police and go into cooldown, you basically need to get out of their sight. There's no cooldown areas in this game. Obviously, if you turn off your car and you turn off your engine and wait in an alleyway, a policeman might actually drive straight past you because obviously your car's not on. And that is something which was available in 2015 and also Payback. So that is still a thing. You can kind of make your own cooldown spots in that way, where if you go into an alleyway and you're cooling down and you're escaping the police and you turn your engine off, then you know, they kind of just go straight past you anyway. So it's all up to the player. They can kind of pick where they want to go. As long as you pick a good enough spot, you know, it's pretty cool. They kind of just go straight past you. As I mentioned earlier, in nighttime, the pursuit levels, like they don't, or the heat levels I should say, they don't decrease at all. Once you're in a pursuit in nighttime, you're in a pursuit in nighttime. Now obviously you can escape from the police, but it's a whole completely different kettle of fish actually trying to get back to a safe house without being caught. Once you have heat in nighttime, you are a most wanted player in that game. Now obviously pursuits and cops are available in all drives, so you know that if you're in a pursuit with your friend and you're both on heat level 3, the cops will both chase you equally. However, if you're at heat level 5 and your friend is at heat level 3, you will definitely have more police on you than your friend. Now this doesn't mean that your friend isn't going to get any police at all. There still will be police chasing him, but because you're the most wanted player, there's going to be a lot more attention on you. And that goes for everyone in that all drive lobby. Pursuits with friends are going to be something which I don't think I've ever experienced in a free roam online multiplayer game, so I can't wait to try that. I think that's one of the things I'm most excited for. I'm not sure if I said it at the start of the video, I'm not awfully that big on cops, if you want me to be honest. I grew up on games, you know, like Most Wanted obviously, and Carbon, but at the same, and Hop Shoot 2 as well. Like, that was a game I really enjoyed. But I also grew up on games like Underground 1, Underground 2, you know, Gran Turismo, Forza. I can, you know, leave cops. It didn't really bother me that cops weren't that prolific in Payback or 2015 for that example. But I'm really excited with how they've been implemented in this game, and the risk to reward is really a thing which is important. If you guys didn't watch my developer Q&A, you won't know that high heat races are in this game. These are special races where the cops are cranked up to 100, and you can actually get like special bonus parts for your cars which are exclusive to these events. Now once you win these events, it's not as simple as just, you know, winning the event and unlocking the part. You then have to take that part and get back to the safe house safely to actually unlock the part. You won't unlock the part unless you get back to the safe house and redeem the part by getting to the safe house, losing the cops, all that kind of stuff. Really cool how they've really implemented high risk to high reward in Need for Speed. I love it. The police chatter again, it's cheesy, it's exactly what I wanted. Maybe it's a little bit too much over the top, like they don't have to make so many horsepower references, and they care an awful lot about if they actually get you. It's a bit weird, to be honest. It's not really normal, but it's what it should be, or at least it's closer to what it should be. It's a step in the right direction, which I think is the most important thing. I think it could be toned down a little bit, like they don't have to sound like they're going to start crying if they lose you. They sound like proper gamers. I do think it could be turned down a little bit, but overall, like, the cops are easily my highlight out of Gamescom. Obviously the handling has been much improved. I still think there's improvement to be done there, and I think the map has a kind of personality of its own. The map could be a character in the game just because of how much personality it has. And don't get me wrong, there is negative things I want to say about this game, and I'm going to make videos about that going forward, but today I just wanted to celebrate the cops because they are honestly a huge improvement from anything we've seen since Rivals. I'm excited to race with cops, and that's weird because I don't usually get excited about cop stuff in Need for Speed or any game for that matter, but I'm excited to play with the cops in this game. And it's one of those things, I went in having an open mind, and you know what, they've won me over. I'm sure if you're watching any gameplay that you can see just how aggressive they are. They're proper aggressive. And I can't wait to go ahead and try this game either in a full capture session, you know, closer to launch or at launch, wherever it is. I'm going to be there and I'm going to be messing around with them because they are so much fun. So that's it for the cops in this game. I could talk about this for a bit longer, but I don't really kind of want to overstay my welcome. I feel like I've said everything I need to say. So if you enjoyed, hit the like, subscribe. Let me know if you're excited to mess around with cops in this game. I've set up a card somewhere around there, so make sure to go ahead and vote and have a look through all the cards and stuff that are up there. Subscribe if you haven't already. But that's it from me today. If you guys enjoyed, if you did, hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been also stay safe and peace.